Hey, Matt, Epic Real Estate here, back again for continuation, basically part 2. Didn't know this was going to be multi-parter, but it is a multiple-parter on how to negotiate and overcome seller objections. Last video we talked about how to close a motivated seller. And the biggest part about closing a motivated seller is to make sure that you're actually talking to a motivated seller, right? You got to understand why they're calling and what your position in that role is. And then you have to set your expectations appropriately and make sure that you're spending enough time with the actual motivated sellers. So now that you're actually going to be talking to motivated sellers, now that you know how to do that and you know how to position yourself for that, let's talk about how to negotiate with them and overcome their objections. And really the best way is to not negotiate at all. To not negotiate at all and address every objection before it ever even comes up. And I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? And if you missed this last video, go check the last one. You'll understand what all these apples are about and what they have to do with motivated sellers. All right. So this I call this the Conversion Quadrant, okay? So this is the Conversion Quadrant. It's the fanciest name I've come up with so far. And there are, when it comes to negotiating with a seller, when it comes to overcoming their objections, like I mentioned, the best way to do that is to not negotiate at all. And how do you do that? You align yourself with the seller. It's not even going to be you versus the seller, so you're not negotiating against anybody, right? So you want to position yourself as being the good cop. Remember, the seller's got a problem, and you are a problem solver. Problem solvers don't work against people with problems. They align themselves to solve those problems, okay? So you essentially, what we're going to say, you want to play good cop, okay? You're going to be the good cop. And who's going to be the bad cop? Well, not you, right? Who's going to be the bad cop is going to be the market, okay? So you can be the good cop or the bad cop. If you're a problem solver, you're good. If you're going in as an adversarial and you're going to negotiate and try and beat them up and get the lowest possible price you can, you're playing bad cop, okay? Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people make a lot of money over here playing bad cop. But I just want you to know that you have a choice. And if you want to negotiate correctly and overcome these objections, why not just avoid them altogether so you don't know how to learn how to do that, okay? So just be the good cop, solve the problems. The next part is when it's time to negotiate that contract, right? There's two ways that this can go. It can be, the offer can be the seller's idea, or the offer, the price, and the terms can be your idea, okay? Your idea. So just think about when you go into your appointments, are you playing more the bad cop or are you playing more the good cop? When it comes time to present the price and the terms, is it more the seller's idea or is it more your idea? Okay, so let's look at what this looks like. Because if you play down here, where most people play, most specifically the newer investors do down here, but there's some veterans out there that this is the only place they'll play, and they do okay, but I'll just kind of show you, is when you play down here, what you get is, you get a lot of resistance. You get a lot of resistance down here in this quarter from the, or this quadrant from the seller. And it typically results in no deal. More times than not, you're not getting that deal, okay? Even if it's a motivated seller, it can be really tough to do business down here. Possible, some people do. Every once in a while, you're gonna make some money, but it's really, really tough, okay? The next quadrant where most people play in is up here. And it's going to be your newer investors, okay? They've heard this whole thing. They're like, okay, I get it. We want it to be the seller's idea, but you know, I'm trying to get the lowest price. And they go in, and it ends up being the seller's idea, but not because you let them be let the offer be their idea. They forced it to be their idea. And what you get is a real arrogant seller. You get an arrogant seller who is doing this deal because they have the motivation. They just don't trust you. They don't like you, right? But they got to sell, so they're doing this deal in spite of you. And what happens is when you're up here in this quadrant is it becomes a real struggle. Every deal is a real struggle. You're dealing with an arrogant seller, and the deal's a struggle. And sometimes you'll close these, sometimes you'll get lucky and the seller wasn't too far off bounds or out of bounds with their offer or with their price and terms, and you'll do a deal there. But it can be a real struggle. Okay? The next part is people will see this type of presentation and they'll understand what I'm saying, and they're like, I get it. I want to go out and do good. I want to go be a problem solver. I want to help sellers. I want to feel good about what I do. So they position themselves as the good cop. But when it comes to presenting their price and terms, they're not quite sure how to do that. So it's still the seller's idea, right? So you get the seller understands that they're on your side, or you're on their side, but you still came up with the price and the terms. So there's doubt. You have a doubtful. You got a doubtful seller. And as they're going through the transaction, they're questioning everything. They've got concerns. They're not sure. They like you, but they're not sure about what you came up with down here, if that's going to be a good deal for them or not. So they're doubtful, and this can go really slow. It can be slow and a sluggish transaction, okay? But when you position yourself as the good cop, you're the problem solver. You're there to solve the seller's problems, and you're able to present the price and terms where the seller says they give you the price and terms, and it's the price and terms that you wanted in the first place. What you get is a cooperative seller, and you get nice, easy transactions. All right? So I want you to just think about your last deal that didn't go the way you wanted it to, and just kind of, I don't know, think of the address, think of the curb appeal, what that house looked like, maybe even know the seller's name. Think of them, and the one that didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. Which quadrant were you most likely in? Right? Were you over here playing bad cop and forced it to be your idea? Or was it you hadn't had a deal in a while and you're just hoping to get one? You're looking to get your first deal under contract or your next deal because it's been so long since you had one. You just kind of went the seller's route, so at least you got the contract signed, right? Or was it down here where you tried to be good cop but you didn't quite know how to pull off the presentation, and it was still your idea, it was doubtful, it was slow, still maybe worked out, made some money, but it was a struggle? Or was it up here, right? And then just kind of decide which quadrant were you in, and which place would you like to operate in. I think most of you like to have cooperative sellers and easy transactions. You can make a living out of this. You can fall in love with your business this way, right? Absolutely. So understand the next part of how to close the motivated seller lead and how to negotiate and overcome seller objections is staying in the right quadrant. And so the next lesson, this will be the conclusion of this, on how to get this pull this all together to close a motivated seller, is the actual words that you're going to say. I'm going to give you the exact words to say when you're talking to the motivated seller, when they call you, so that you stay up here in the upper right-hand quadrant. And so you never leave this spot. So you're always dealing with a cooperative, easy seller, as long as your seller is motivated. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. I'm Matt Theriault. Take care. Hey, Matt here. If you like what you just saw, like this video. If you want more when it comes to investing in real estate, subscribe to our channel. Look for new videos on Thursdays and Fridays. We give it all away here for free. We hold nothing back. If you want to build your real estate investing business, however, fast, text the word FAST to 505-605-6065 or go to reiace.com. See you next time.